Hello, I'm David Kain, president of Kain Automotive, and thank you very much for joining us today for my interview with Nick Kaptain. That's Kaptain with a K. He is a founder of a company called Quotible, and I've had an opportunity to spend just a few minutes with him, and I felt like it would be worthwhile for you all to learn a little bit about not only Nick and his background as co-founder, and more about Quotable and its place in our industry. So Nick, if you'd be so kind as to tell us about Quotable and tell us about yourself.
Yeah, sure. David, thanks first off for having me on the call today. We're really super excited about talking to you. You're a well-known guy in automotive, so it's a treat for us to kind of connect. So I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
So Quotable is a unique product on the market. To give you guys a little bit of background, so I'm one of the co-founders. I actually come from a software development background. We're based here in Las Vegas. My business partner, Wesley Gregg, is actually the other co-founder. He's the general manager of Gaudin Ford, which is one of the top Ford stores in the country. So him and I did a project together years back, became friendly. And he approached me with the challenge they had at the store, which was basically, and they use Dealer Socket, was like, lead response has not evolved in the last, 15, 20 years in automotive. How do we fix that problem? And in his store, he looked at his numbers and his open rates on his emails were like 42%. So he's spending, tens of thousands of dollars a month on Google ads, social media marketing, third party, traffic, and, to only have 42% of your opportunities view your response is a pretty big issue. And it's nothing to knock the CRMs, they're great tools and they're valuable to the business, but, how do we become almost like an add-on to the CRM to enhance the CRM, to work with them as a partner? And so the main objectives with the tool to build it was, number one, how do we drive up those open rates, right? How do we get more opportunities to look at? Number two, his sales guys were working the deal from A to Z. So he doesn't have a BDC, but our tool works with any format, BDC, internet departments, or salespeople. But they were spending anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes trying to build just a cash quote, going to the website to find MSRP, pulling up their pricing matrix, Excel spreadsheet to find the discounts, going to Ford to find the rebates, putting it all into a canned email template and hitting send.
Yeah.
And so it was very time consuming, right? So, and we get a lot of feedback from our customers now about, one girl at a store actually used to have to run down the stairs, go back, get a lease quote, go back up the stairs, scan it a PDF and send it over to the customer, so it's not efficient. The other thing is
think of the cardio though, Nick, when you have that. I mean, she's probably had to get a Peloton bike or something like that to replace the fitness regimen.
Yeah, that's literally what I told her. Actually, I said, I'm thankful you're happy, but I'm sorry you're probably gonna put on a few pounds from the lack of exercise. But again, that was a big thing. Is like, how do we make it, salespeople more efficient? I mean, we have some stores that are sending out 2,500 quotes a month. I mean, there's high volume stores, and imagine doing a lot of that manually. So it's the common issue. The other thing that a lot of dealerships I think should spend more time on is just their brand. How do you differentiate yourself from the competition? And so that was another big thing is, injecting their brand, being unique, standing out from the marketplace from your competitors, because everybody's selling the same Honda, right? Or the same Toyota. And so besides price, how else do you compete and how else do you get that advantage? And our product is unique, when you compare to other tools, like let's say digital retailing, for example. We have the phrase, we love salespeople, right? So, and also like, how do you make a great first impression? And so with our tool, we feel like people still need to be a part of the process, and that human connection is what really sells cars. And so our product is really focused on that a lot too as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's important. And I, being raised in a car dealership family, we always appreciated our name was on the building. My dad's been a dealer my whole life. And I think oftentimes consumers appreciate a professional approach as opposed to just going to get the information and not having somebody who really pays attention or cares about them. And having the ability to create efficiency also kind of provides an opportunity for me to be a human without me just chasing all the time trying to put a deal together.
100%. And that connection still needs to happen. And there needs to be some sort of personal relationship that happens in connection. So our tool also helps do that. So going back to my partner store, we improve the aesthetics, the deliverability, because we send out the quotes via text as well as through the CRM and through our mail servers. So our quote visit percentages, we don't even look at open rate. We look at how many people visit the quote, are 80% or more. So sometimes as high as 90%. So there's a lot of engagement. Consumers are visiting the quote on average, 2 times. So there's a big, huge engagement. So you can see where he doubled his opportunities there. And therefore, we like to tell people, hey, we're not going to sell you the car, help you, but we're a tool to help you book appointments, to give your team to be more efficient and more effective, at the end of the day.
So before we get to a demonstration, let me just kind of weigh in on a couple of topics. So I read the other day in a study that said aerospace and automotive had dropped 5 points in open rates for emails to consumers, and they had automotive queued at 17% email open rate. So he's at 42%. That's remarkable because obviously it's one-to-one as opposed to bulk email type marketing. So that would certainly make sense. The other variable, and you mentioned you can deliver via text. Something we also read is 98% of text messages are opened. Fully 90% are open within 1 minute, and that's pretty darn impressive. So if you can cover that spectrum and then provide the customer what they're looking for, I guess my question would be, and we'll cover this just real quick. What about the dealers who say, well, we don't like to send quotes? And I know that's a little off the topic of the technology, but I'm a believer in transparency. I think Amazon and Carvana and all of the one price dealers that are really doing a remarkable job are to a large degree very transparent with the pricing. Even dealers who don't want to provide a quote probably have a transaction price on their website, and yet they still make the BDC or the internet sales team members go touch the desk to do something that really offset the transparency and the efficiency. And I believe the customer, if you can get to them quicker with what they're looking for, it wins the day. So could you comment on that? Quote versus no quote, get them in versus trying to sell them a car over the phone or over email. What have you learned from your results?
It's funny, things have changed, right, since COVID. So pre-COVID, it used to come up quite a bit where some stores would be like, we don't want to send our customers a quote, which I totally agree with you. I mean, the more transparent you are, the more comfortable the customer is, the more likely that there's a car deal that's made. However, we were very flexible with our product. We've built countless features for different dealers based on the way they operate. Every dealership is different. So we do have templates, that are built out where they can, not show pricing if they don't want to. So we've built that. We don't recommend it. But if a dealership does want that feature, we do have that as well. So sorry, go ahead.
What does the information show? So you're obviously your partner, his store, you've got other clients involved in this. Have you done A/B testing? Is there anything that you would say, man, I got to tell you, David, whispering or whatever, dealers who don't provide a quote are crazy versus because here's the result. What can you share with us there?
Well, I can tell you that from experience, just talking to the dealers, because we can't compare like what's in their CRM, right? Because we don't have access to that data per se. But I will tell you that when it comes to like case studies and testimonials, I just got the phone with one of the largest Nissan stores that uses our product up in Northern California. And he was like, it's a game changer for us. Number one, it hits all the points that Nissan's looking for when it comes to grading us. We have the fastest response time probably in the whole country with Nissan, according to him. It's transparent, it delivers. And so the customer, at their own leisure can view the quote on their phone and calculate their payments. But we notify the sales rep via text and email when the consumer's doing performing actions. So it really helps them connect with the customer. And so I just know from talking to our customers that it's really helped them not only increase their opportunities, but also close more deals and get more appointments, because it's interactive. And they've actually had customers come down to the store and compliment them, being like, this is pretty cool. Never seen anything like this. So we're the only product on the market that really is focused on lead response and improving, the first impression that a dealership makes to their customers. We do have some crossover because we have a payment calculator with digital retailing products, but we are different, and majority of our clients have digital retailing products. So we're kind of symbiotic with those products. Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go ahead and pull back the curtain and take a look at it. If you could share your screen and show us a little bit.
Sure. So what we have here is an example of a customer-facing quote. So you can see it's all personalized. So we integrate with the dealership CRM, all the major CRMs. So we pull in the customer's first and last name, which again personalizes it. I built this quote as like a new car quote template. Now we have different colors, different layouts, different things. Most of our customers, and we recommend this, build out templates for new, used, CPO. We also have countless third-party lead provider templates. So we have the logo of, let's say, TrueCar or Cars.com, as well as the branding of the dealership themselves. And that's really important actually too. We've had a lot of success there because a customer goes to, like, let's say Cars.com and fills out a request form for a car. Well, they don't know dealership ABC. So because we pull in the Cars.com logo and then also the dealership's logo, it kind of ties in that story to the consumer and makes a little bit more sense for them. Each template, they can personalize a welcome message here. So you can have a welcome message for new cars, CPO, used. Every buyer is different when they're looking for a specific vehicle or a type of vehicle. So we allow you to customize that as well. Quick Google Map directions to the store. Again, each rep, BDC, internet department, or sales rep would build out their own profile with a headshot and a bio, their title, their phone number. The consumer can actually leave them a message. And one of the things we're building right now that's going to be coming out in probably about 30 days is two-way texting. So this is going to be, there's going to be a widget here where they can communicate on a per quote basis back and forth via text, which is going to be really dynamic. The engagement on these quotes is huge. I mean, like I said before, their customers are visiting them on average 2 times and spending about 4 minutes or so on the quote. And then these comment forms are being filled out regularly, and people are actually scheduling their own test drive, which is pretty cool. So they're choosing a date and a time of day. It triggers an alert to the sales rep, feeds back into the CRM, and all those activities are posted. So once this quote is sent out via text and email, and the customer opens it, whether it's on their phone, tablet, or desktop, it triggers real-time notifications to the sales rep with the customer's name, phone number, as well as their email, so they can communicate with them ASAP. And that's one of the things that I preach to our clients is be very consistent using Quotible. Send it at a minimum as your first response. And then when you get those alerts, call them right away, because that's how you get it. And it's almost like a sales rep on their own, right? We kind of do a lot of the work for them, because a lot of stores come to us and they're calling first, or they're sending out a text initially. And when you do the texting through the CRM, those do go through, but you're almost like soliciting the customer. With this, it's almost like when you fill out a form on a website and you're telling someone, hey, fill out this form and we'll give you this. It's something that there's a two-way relationship there. And so when we send them the quote, now there's something to talk about. The rep, number one, gets notified, so they know that within that 4-minute period, they have time to reach the customer. But more importantly, they're able to, close that deal, right? So now over here, we have the vehicle section as well. So we have the inventory feed is pulled in. So all the photos of the vehicle. We actually integrate with an awesome company called SpinCar, as well as a company called Lisa. So if you're a dealership that uses either one of those products, we automatically, when we decode the VIN, pull in the SpinCar video or the Lisa walk-around video. So instead of these inventory photos, you'll have that. We also map in the vehicle brochure from the OEM automatically for every vehicle from 2017 through 2021. As you scroll down here, this is kind of the heartbeat of the quote itself, and this is all about transparency, right? So depending on the vehicle, you can send out a cash, finance, as well as a lease quote. All the incentives are pulled in, interest rates, et cetera. So there's no heavy lifting for the reps to do whatsoever. Within seconds, they can send these quotes out, and the consumer, when they get it, can add in a down payment, and it'll adjust the payment on the fly. They can change their term. They can add in additional rebates. They can save their payment options. So like I mentioned before, people are visiting the quote on average 2 times. So if I sent this quote to you, David, and you went to it, I would get alerted, And if you revisited it over the weekend, let's say, I would get re-alerted again. So really increases the opportunity. So if you look at, when you compare this to like a static canned email template from the CRM, you can see how much a customer would like this. And at the end of the day, it's all about the customer, right? It's not about what we want, it's about what they want. And they don't want to just see pricing. They want to learn about the store. They want to learn about the representative and really humanize the individual that sent them that. So you can create that bond. I'm Michael J. Fox, by the way. And then the dealership can upload photos. They can embed videos, the description about the store. All their hours of operation are pulled in automatically as well, and social media profile links that they want. And then as a retention tool, as we know, service is huge. The dealership can create on a per template basis different parts and service coupons so that they can email to a friend or family member, et cetera. And then finally, they can share the quote. So if they want to share the quote with a friend or a family member, I remember my wife was looking for a car. She was at Lexus, and she had to call me and explain to me what the car looked like, what the cost was. I mean, if that dealership was using Quotible, she could just put in my cell phone number, hit share, and then I would get alerted via text.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that's a quick view of it. Like I said, there's different templates. We have a multi-vehicle template as well, where instead of just sending one car or one quote, they can send up to 4 vehicles, new, used, CPO, a different combination thereof. So it's a pretty dynamic tool, and we're constantly working to improve it and build out new features like automation and things like that are coming very shortly.
Good. So just a quick question, and I'm just want to learn from you while we've got this up on the screen. So it says here, this custom quote includes information on the vehicle. So in this case, you use the word quote, but then you've got calculate your payment and watch welcome video. And over to the left, I don't see the word quote per se. And I'm sure you've designed it that way to draw me in to go find my quote to kind of pull me through. And calculate payment is obviously one of those catalysts. And what we found is very few people actually buy the car. They end up buying the payment. So I'm assuming through your A/B testing, you all have come up with that. Let's get them to where they click that link that says calculate the payment, bring them down here so they can. Yep. Could you talk a little bit about that strategy?
Yeah. So again, I mean, that is the meat and potatoes, right? Is people want to know roughly what their payments are, payment driven, just like you said. And the other interesting thing that we've seen is, probably 80% or more of car buyers fill out an interest form on a specific vehicle. In this case, this 2019 Ford Fusion Titanium, but they never end up buying that vehicle. So our tool allows the rep to quickly, while they're on the phone with the customer, shoot them over a different quote, or they can browse the multi-vehicle quote template and browse different, options that way. So it gives you that flexibility to provide the consumer what they want quickly. And I do agree. I mean, through testing, that is the majority of the interaction is through the calculator. You can also appraise your trade in the tool here as well. But I think what customers like and what the reps like is really the fact that it's personalized. It's personalized for the customer, and it's also personalized for the representative. They now have some sort of a bond to talk about, and that's why we always coin that phrase that we love salespeople, and we really champion the BDC reps and the salespeople that are there. That I think in my limited experience in the last few years with automotive, I've never sold a car, but I feel like they're the real champions at the dealership that deserve probably a lot more credit than they get. It's really hard to sit there all day and respond to leads and to communicate with customers. And so we feel like it's our job to make that process easier for them, make their life, and we've gotten that compliment a lot as salespeople feel a little bit more valued, right? Because now they have a little bit more. Some stores don't allow them to send out lease quotes or don't allow them to send out finance quotes, and now they feel more empowered. And so, retention of salespeople is always a challenge at dealerships. So I think anything you can do as a general manager or an owner or a GSM to empower your team and have them really feel bought in to the dealership and feel like they have the ability to communicate more effectively with their customers and have more product knowledge and tools at their fingertips is really, really important.
No question. So a couple of things, and it's one of those to where when you see something cool like this, you want to engage with it a little bit. So Sure. Things that come to mind for me when I see that is we like to call first and then send the text and then send the email, because what we're finding is we love co-navigating. So if I can now have you on the phone say, Nick, hi, this is David Kain. I'm calling because you were interested in this 2019 Ford Fusion and you wanted to get your quote information. I'm going to go ahead and send you that link right now, and now check your email, and it didn't go to my spam or anything like that. If it's easier, I'll be glad to text it to you. Now we're on the same page, and I'm going through the quote with you together. We evaluate your trade-in perhaps, and that works really, really well. So let's just say the lead and a large percentage of them come in without a phone number. I can't do that. So this works really good. What I'd love to do over there next to your name is have a button that says call me now, or I'm available right now, and let them go ahead and click. And what we found is texting is the greatest tool for engagement.
Yep.
The phone call is the greatest tool for appointment setting, in particular appointments that show. So I would love to see something that basically allowed me as a salesperson to receive the call right now, either on my office phone or my cell phone. And now maybe instead of leaving a message that becomes back and forth, I have the other option to where if they want to talk now. And what we find is customers don't mind talking to a salesperson who's knowledgeable, who can give them good information. They hate getting cold calls. They hate getting sold, but they don't mind working with a professional who's going to provide them good information. And you've already kind of earned the right because you've been totally transparent. I think that really would plant the seed that a phone call to Mr. Kaptain here would be a good idea. So this is
exactly. Yeah, and I always tell people what I love about it is it's an icebreaker, right? Like it's something to talk about. Because when like you said, when you're just doing a cold call or even a cold text, there's nothing. You're just basically, hey, do you want to come down for a test drive? It's like there's nothing to discuss, and so this allows the customer and the salesperson to have some sort of commonality and something to discuss, a discussion topic, right? Is what do you think about this payment? And they're working, and we've seen that. We've actually done store visits. Is that we've seen reps on the phone looking at the calculator and plugging in numbers while they're talking to the customer. So again, it's giving customers what they want. It's being transparent. It's all really important nowadays. And so once COVID hit, obviously that kind of went out the window. I don't think I've gotten one phone call with a customer that didn't want to send payments because now that kind of changed things like with a snap of the finger, right? So we're living in a different time now, I think.
So interesting enough, something that we teach in our training is it's got to be about the experience, and Quotible really works well to elevate the experience. What I'm curious about is if in fact one of our clients, because one of the things that we tout is the VIP experience, and 5-Star Ford in Dallas, for example, they've got a VIP row, and the dealer, the general manager of the dealership will send me videos and say, we're going to have a big day, and it'll show all 15, 20 vehicles pulled up with the name on the mirror dangler and all shiny for the guests. Is there customization options available to where if we wanted to have some visuals that touted the VIP experience at the dealership, now the guest can sit here and say, as you see, you can schedule a visit, but could we give some visuals that say, this is what a VIP looks like at ABC Motors?
Yeah, great question. And that's come up recently, actually. We have a store, really large Honda store on the East Coast. And they wanted to create a new section called like a why buy, like why choose our store. And I was like, that's something we should have thought of, right? So we build based off of feedback from our customers. So one of the things we're actually engineering right now is the addition of that. Because the messaging here is great. It's a little intro, but there should be a little bit more oomph because every store is different. They have different promotions. We have other templates that allow you to upload your specials banners and things like that, in addition to the coupons. But the why buy from us and messaging is really important. One thing that's not shown here is also we have a template where you can embed a video that's actually shown versus clicking this. So you can actually have a video inside the quote that goes out that, could be the owner talking, the GM. Later down the road, we're going to be working on some video lead response as well, because it kind of ties into our tool. So one-off videos, walk-arounds, things like that through our mobile app. So yeah, I totally agree with you. The why buy is something that's missing from the template currently, but that's something we're actually working on. So
I love talking to the owner of it, to where that you can actually put stuff in play. And I think what's nice about your company is you're learning with the owners what's working, and that makes all the difference in the world. So can we afford it, Nick? And if you want to just pull your screen down, we'll go ahead and just kind of let you share a little bit. I mean, is this something that the average dealer can afford? Because it's so engaging. Most everybody will sit here and say, "Hey, let me have some of that."
Yeah, without a doubt. So we price, we have one price, and we keep it very simple. So there's a $500 one-time onboarding fee, and then we're priced at $899 a month. However, for smaller stores, we do work out some discounts if that will help them. So we're a fraction of the price of other competing products on the market. But groups as well, we do discounts on as well. But I think that our price point is, for what we do and how effective it is really relatively low priced. So.
Yeah, well, you've got a good value proposition. And what my wife always says when someone wants us to discount our training is, she says, you need to go back and sell the value. So you do a great job selling the value, Nick. And certainly when the value stack is way up here, the price is not even considered a impediment. So it's been fun. I really have enjoyed learning more about you and learn more about Quotable. Any closing thoughts?
No, thank you. It's really an honor to be talking to you today. Like I said, I've heard a lot of great things about you, and it's really exciting for a smaller company like us, still in the startup phase, to have this opportunity. I just think our product, we're very passionate about our customers, and we're very, hands-on. I personally, when we do new features, I review it with our customers. I get their feedback. So, and we build for you. And so I think it's a lot different the way we take passion and pride in the way we train and support our customers. And there's unfortunately a lot of big companies on the market, not going to name names, that don't have the reputation of having great customer support. And I think, the more we support our dealers, the more they support us. And so I just want to leave with that comment that that's one of the things that I take the most pride in.
You bet. It's the path to success, no question. Nick, wonderful to meet you, and thank you so much for your generous time. And I look forward to seeing more of our clients getting involved with Quotable.
Fantastic. Thanks, David. You have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye.